Just when it seemed like the storm around Jay-Z might finally quiet down, 50 Cent lit another match. And this time, the internet caught fire. Out of nowhere, whispers began circulating that Jay-Z had secured a luxury property in Bali, a beautiful island paradise, but also a place many online commentators pointed out has complicated legal relationships with the United States. The comparison came fast. Russell Simmons once relocated there during his own controversy, and social media hasn't forgotten. Now, the question echoing across timelines is simple. Coincidence or contingency plan? And that's when everything spiraled back to the same source. The recently unsealed federal documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Millions of pages, thousands of exhibits, a digital avalanche that sent amateur investigators into overdrive. The files weren't complete, not even close, but they were enough to ignite speculation at a level we haven't seen in years. Names, associations, old photographs, flight logs, party rumors. The internet began connecting dots at lightning speed, some reasonable, some reckless. Among the swirling conversations, Jay-Z's name started trending alongside other powerful figures in entertainment. No formal charges, no confirmed accusations, just proximity. And in today's climate, proximity is enough to fuel a wildfire. One resurfaced claim from an anonymous individual described waking up in a room occupied by high-profile industry names decades ago. The statement did not accuse Jay-Z of direct wrongdoing, but critics online asked a pointed question: why was he there at all? Supporters quickly pushed back, arguing that presence does not equal participation. The debate exploded into factions overnight. Others tried to dismiss the timeline entirely, claiming that in the mid-90s Jay-Z wasn't yet influential enough to even be in those circles. But longtime hip-hop insiders countered that narrative. Before mainstream fame, he was already building relationships, already navigating elite rooms, already forming connections that would later shape the industry. Was he an outsider back then, or was he closer to power than the public realized? That's the tension gripping the story now. Not confirmed guilt, not proven innocence, just unanswered questions, resurfaced alliances, and a public trying to decide what to believe. And with 50 Cent publicly fanning the flames, this isn't just gossip anymore. It's a narrative battle, and it's only getting darker. Then another voice from the past resurfaced. Money Love once mentioned that Jay-Z had been in London as early as 1988, reportedly staying in one of the city's upscale luxury apartments. That detail alone challenges a narrative that he was just an unknown hustler before the mid-90s. Long before the mainstream spotlight found him, insiders say he was already moving in powerful circles, especially along the East Coast. By the time 1996 arrived, Jay-Z may have been new to the public. But according to industry veterans, he wasn't new to influence. Relationships had already been built. Doors had already been opened. Conversations were already happening behind closed curtains. The image of an outsider clawing his way in? Some argue that story isn't the full picture. Critics online have gone even further, questioning the company he kept during those early years. They point out that Jeffrey Epstein was deeply embedded in elite social networks at the time, overlapping worlds of wealth, entertainment, and unchecked power. Years later, Jay-Z's documented friendship with Harvey Weinstein would only intensify those conversations. To some observers, it didn't look like distance. It looked like proximity. And then there's Kanye West. Long before any federal documents became public, Kanye made cryptic statements suggesting there were uncomfortable truths inside the industry, comments that many dismissed at the time. Jay-Z publicly framed those remarks as instability. But now, in hindsight, some online commentators are revisiting those moments with new curiosity. Was it concern, damage control, or simply fractured friendship playing out in public? Even Pusha T's name occasionally gets pulled into the broader online speculation, though no formal allegations have been confirmed. Still, the timing of everything, the resurfaced claims, the old alliances, the renewed scrutiny, has created an atmosphere thick with suspicion. No verdicts, no official findings, just a growing list of connections that refuse to fade quietly. And in a world where perception can be just as powerful as proof, that may be the most dangerous position of all. And then, almost predictably, 50 Cent stepped in. He didn't whisper. He didn't hint. He detonated, posting AI-generated images of Jay-Z, distorted and unsettling. 50 Cent captioned them with a message that instantly went viral. implying that Jay's name appearing in resurfaced federal discussions deserved its own documentary. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't quiet. It was calculated. But he didn't stop there. Soon after, 50 Cent dug up an old track associated with Jay-Z, highlighting lyrics about a younger woman and framing them in a way that reignited long-simmering debates. The song itself wasn't new. The lyrics weren't hidden. But in the current climate, every line felt different. Every word was re-examined under a harsher light. Online forums began dissecting timelines, ages, past relationships. Some speculated about whether certain lyrics referenced Beyoncé or Foxy Brown, both of whom have long histories tied to Jay's early career. Supporters argued the interpretations were exaggerated. Critics insisted the patterns were worth questioning. The age gap conversations resurfaced almost instantly, and this wasn't the first time whispers like these had circulated. Long before the recent document releases or the broader entertainment scandals dominating headlines, Jay-Z had already faced waves of online scrutiny about his dating history. Rumors, never legally substantiated, floated around hip-hop blogs for years, particularly regarding his early connection to Foxy Brown during the 90s. No formal charges, no court confirmations, just persistent speculation that refused to fully disappear. Then came the comparisons. As other powerful music figures found themselves under investigation in separate cases, social media began grouping names together, fairly or unfairly, suggesting there were deeper cultural patterns within the industry itself. Guilt by association became its own headline. For some, 50 Cent's posts were trolling. For others, they were strategic. Either way, the impact was undeniable. Screenshots spread, reaction videos multiplied, old interviews resurfaced. And suddenly, the past didn't feel so distant anymore, because in the age of digital memory, nothing truly disappears. And when rivals start digging, they rarely stop at the surface. As the conversation spread, people began drawing parallels. Some pointed to the highly public fallout between Diddy and Cassie, a relationship that started when she was just 19 and he was already an established mogul. What once looked like mentorship and opportunity later unraveled into legal disputes and disturbing claims that shocked the industry. The power imbalance became the headline. The promises of stardom turned into cautionary tales. And once the public starts connecting patterns, they rarely stop at one example. Attention quickly shifted to Jay-Z's past associations, particularly his professional relationship with R. Kelly. Years ago, the two collaborated on a full joint album, a move that raised eyebrows even at the time. Critics questioned why anyone would align themselves musically with R. Kelly after the serious allegations surrounding his history had already begun surfacing publicly. The shadow of Aaliyah's story resurfaced as well. Her early marriage to R. Kelly, later widely scrutinized and legally challenged, has long been viewed as one of the music industry's most troubling chapters. So when people look back and see major artists continuing business as usual in that era, it sparks uncomfortable questions. Was it ignorance, industry politics, strategic silence, or something else entirely? Supporters argue that collaborations don't equal endorsement, that the industry was different back then, that hindsight makes everything clearer than it was in real time. But critics counter that proximity matters, especially when reputations and influence are involved. And so the debate continues, not built on verdicts in this case, but on optics, associations, timing. Because in an era where past alliances are being re-examined under a modern lens, even old partnerships can feel newly controversial. And once doubt enters a narrative, it rarely leaves quietly. Then the narrative took another turn. According to Dame Dash, once one of Jay-Z's closest allies, there was a time when Jay showed interest in Aaliyah, but the connection reportedly never materialized. Dash has implied in past interviews that the situation created tension behind the scenes. Nothing confirmed, nothing officially documented, just fragments of history told by someone who was once inside the cycle. After Aaliyah's tragic plane crash in 2001, grief quickly turned into speculation across corners of the internet. Over the years, conspiracy theories have surfaced claiming there was more to the tragedy than what was publicly reported, theories that have never been substantiated by evidence. Still, in the age of online forums, rumors rarely disappear. They evolve, and then, inevitably, the focus shifts again. When it comes to Beyoncé, timelines have long been part of public discussion. In a 2007 interview with Charlie Rose, Jay-Z acknowledged that he first met Beyoncé when she was 16, emphasizing that their romantic relationship began later. Supporters argue the timeline is clear. Critics scrutinize every detail. A resurfaced clip featuring Tina Knowles discussing early interactions between the families reignited online debate, with viewers dissecting tone, context, and implication. No charges, no legal findings, just interpretation. But in today's climate, interpretation can be explosive. And then came the lyrics. After 50 Cent reignited controversy by spotlighting a track from Pharrell's 2006 album, social media once again zoomed in on verses referencing a younger woman. The song, recorded when Jay-Z was in his mid-30s, mentions a 19-year-old, legally an adult, but still young enough to spark debate about age gaps and influence. Some listeners dismiss it as typical rap bravado. Others dissected every metaphor. References to horror themes, loss of innocence, and parental warnings were pulled apart line by line across YouTube breakdowns and TikTok threads. Was it storytelling, fantasy, or something deeper? Interpretation became the battleground. Meanwhile, comedian Corey Holcomb added fuel to the fire with bold on-stage commentary, tossing out provocative claims about powerful industry figures and secretive gatherings. No evidence, no documentation, just spectacle, but spectacle spreads fast. And as if that wasn't enough, artist MIA resurfaced in 2024 with her own allegations about pressure within the music industry. In interviews and social posts, she suggested she faced expectations to alter her image and participate in symbolic, theatrical concepts she was uncomfortable with. She named Jay-Z and Beyoncé while expressing her frustration, though no proof was presented and no formal action followed. Supporters call it artistic disagreement. Critics call it whistleblowing. Others call it attention-seeking. What's undeniable is this: the smoke keeps building. Old friendships, old interviews, old lyrics, old rivalries. None of it proves anything on its own. But together, it creates a narrative storm, one powered less by courtrooms and more by perception. And in the entertainment industry, perception can be louder than facts. I can rewrite this portion in a suspenseful, dramatic, faceless documentary gossip style, keeping the tension, stakes, and cinematic tone, without repeating unverified criminal, sexual, or abuse allegations about real people. Here's a fully safe and gripping version. And the story didn't stop there. Social media erupted once again, this time fueled by cryptic posts and viral images from Nicki Minaj. She teased the controversies, dropped hints about past connections, and set the internet into a frenzy. Screenshots circulated, captions were dissected, and every user seemed to have their own theory about what was really happening behind the closed doors of the music industry. Fans and critics alike speculated endlessly. Some wondered if Jay-Z might try to disappear from the spotlight, retreating to somewhere far from prying eyes, a private life hidden behind walls and international borders. Others debated whether he could actually avoid scrutiny in today's hyperconnected world. Threads and comments grew heated. No one is ever held accountable. The same patterns repeat over and over. Even if you weren't directly involved, proximity makes you part of the story. Every opinion added fuel to a narrative that refused to stay quiet. And while nothing is confirmed, the speculation alone has created a storm of tension and uncertainty. Now the question hanging over the story is clear. Will Jay-Z manage to navigate this latest wave of scrutiny, or is the pressure building to a point where there's no turning back? And as always, the audience is left on edge, watching, debating, waiting to see how it all unfolds. What would you do if you were in his shoes? Could anyone escape this storm, or is the industry too small for secrets to stay hidden? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to stay tuned, because in this world, the next twist is always just around the corner.